Hello, Liam. Long time no see. So I wanted to ask you what's actually happening around Iran and the regime and everything around it. Because I only see it in the news what's happening. So I wanted to know real information from someone like you who knows much about it. So welcome, welcome. So first question I wanted to ask is, you know, many people see Iran's past monarchy as a golden era, like the best time. Even the people in Korea that are Iranians here, and many people. Why do you think that view is incomplete? And how does it, how did it fall, shape, and what came after? Please tell us.
Okay, so it's a much more complicated than what usually the Iranians in exile present for us. The
Mm,
Pahlavi regime is depicted as the perfect alternative for Iran, like it was a monarchy, a strong one, but they are ignoring a lot of what were the main problems of it.
mm,
Back then, it was an authoritarian monarchy with very limited freedom. People couldn't speak freely,
mm,
and the opposition was crushed very fast, and also the minorities were discriminated against. We see it a lot in Iran today.
mm.
And I'll give you one example.
Okay.
There was the prime minister. There was in 1953. There was a prime minister named Muhammad Mossadegh,
Mm-hmm.
who wanted to give some of the government's money to people in the poorer areas of Iran. But forces which were loyal to the regime
Mm-hmm.
actually countered the coup and overthrew Mossadegh.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a bigger point here to make. Regime like the Islamist regime we see today don't come out of nowhere. They all the time rise during chaos, when there is economic crisis, instability, and weak leadership. Like we've seen it in the Soviet Union, we have seen it in Nazi Germany, fascist Italy, and I think also communist China.
Yes.
And Iran is a combination of all of it. And the, the regime itself of the Pahlavi gave literally the red carpet to the Islamist regime we see today. And now about what I researched about Reza Pahlavi. Yes, he says the right things in the right time, but so
Mm-hmm.
far he hadn't shown any clear, structured plan for how he could actually run the country differently. The best examples, he didn't build a government in exile. He is supported by the Persians' exile, but if he would build a government in exile, then the exiles and Western forces would definitely support it. He didn't promise reforms. He didn't show any. He didn't show anything that would make him much different from his father. And without that plan in mind, it's hard to believe that things wouldn't end up in the same direction.
Mm. I see.
That's the Pahlavi version.
Mm. Anything else, Liam? Thank you for sharing, Liam. So I had no idea because over here, I only see protests as pro Iran's old regime from the back in those old days. So I had no idea, but thank you for sharing the insight and the information back on that. But I do agree that it is probably no one can be sure if it could be the right decision to put him back in power. So thank you, Liam. Thank you for sharing. And my another question I had for you also is, you know, Iran is often seen as a single unified nation. But from what I heard you from before when we talked, I heard it's not quite accurate. So how accurate is that? And what challenges exist beneath the surface? More to it, because many people don't know. So please, can you please elaborate on that? Thank you. Tell us.
Sure. But now we get to the main point of this conversation.
Mm,
Unlike maybe Korea,
mm,
Japan, Poland, or Hungary, Iran is not a homogeneous nation.
mm,
They are they are made up of many different nationalities that forced to live under one rule, one system.
mm,
Persians are so far the largest group, about 50%, but we have got up here, the Azerbaijanis,
Mhm.
We have got to the west of them the Kurds. We have got the Arabs of the Ahwaz.
Mm.
We have Baluchi here to the east. We have also Turkmen up in the north. But other than that, we have smaller groups. Like we have Mazani, Kashkai, Gilaki, Uluris, Afghans, and much more.
Wow, so many.
Different language,
Mm.
like different languages, identities, and histories, like Koreans and Indonesians. For
Mhm.
decades, if not, and I think even centuries, those minorities lived under one Persian oppression. The Azerbaijanis face strict restrictions on education in their own language, and limits on cultural expressions,
Mhm.
and they have barriers to maintain close relationship with their brothers up in the north. Up from here, we have the Azerbaijani nations in the north. They can't even connect with them. The Kurds, as we've pointed out, faced repeated crackdowns, kidnappings, and repression whenever they pushed for an autonomy. In the region of the Ahwaz, in the south, the region is rich of oil. I would say almost 80% of Iran's oil is from there. But the local Arabs get little. Pollution is severe. And the Iranian regime had redirected the rivers from those areas. And in a desert area, you need water. You need for farming and agriculture. I
Mhm.
think that since Operation Rising Lion in June 2025, when Israel struck Tehran, the minorities began to reawaken. Some even would call it a renaissance among these groups.
Mhm.
And today they are, how can I say, they're organizing their own militias. They speak more openly about separatism, and in some cases fight back. There is a Baluchi group in the east called Jaish el-Adel, and has carried out attacks against the regime in their areas. In the Ahwaz, the Arabs have attacked IRGC positions and within their territory. In the Kurdish areas, there are many cases of mobilization from different parts of the Middle East.
I see, I see. Wow. So many things I didn't know of. So many different part and what they're doing. I'm getting hearing from you now. Thank you for sharing, Liam. Anything more to add on to that?
Uh, I wouldn't say much, but
Mhm.
the story is starting to boil, especially within Iran itself. But we will get to that later.
Yes, yes, I see that. Wow, so much history behind it. As Koreans and Canadians and many people, we have no idea. We just see what's on the news, so we usually don't know at all. So it's great insight. Thank you. So another question, next one is, we're now seeing signs of internal unrest in organization. How significant is this shift inside the country? That's what I often wondered. Could you please tell us?
Uh, you you won't believe. Since the Israelis and the Americans joined forces on January 28th,
Hmm.
the awakening of the people had been rekindled since last year. And unlike before, we are seeing a more separatist political parties and figures beginning to emerge and rise.
Mm.
In the region of the Ahwaz, there is one leader called Hamid Mutasha.
Mm.
He is the president of the Ahwaz Liberal Party. He is secular, pro-Western, and willing to share the region's oil with the world. I heard his declaration, of course, it was translated to Hebrew, where he said, let me get it. We hereby declare a sacred alliance between the heroic United States of America and the great country of Israel, an alliance of shared destiny and responsibility to break the fang of Persian Nazism and plant the seeds for Abrahamic peace. Look, but I don't know how many people actually follow him, but the armed wing in the region, the Ahwaz Liberation Army, is definitely behind him. The Kurds from Iraq, you see, in here, the Kurds from Iraq to the west of the country have begun to mobilize to support their brothers in Iran.
Mm.
These are not random militias. Many of them are Kurdish infantry and armor units. Many of them are veterans from the war against the Islamic State in Iraq, where they already proved to be one of the most effective infantry soldiers in the history of the modern Middle East. But as far as we also know, they have a very close ties with the USA and with us, with Israel, particularly through coordination and intelligence gathering.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about them earlier. The other nationality that fights hard are the Baluchis.
Mm-hmm.
They are brothers of the Afghans. They are their relatives. They are very adaptive. They are stubborn, and they fight against numerous enemies. Let's say this is Baluchistan. You have Pakistan. Pakistan here in this region. Parts of the Taliban here, and of course Iran itself. By the end of 2025, a Baluchi political entity, which I don't remember her exact name, I think it was the Republic of Baluchistan, recognized Israel as a legitimate state and expressed interest in opening relations once the regime in Tehran falls. But since last January, we've seen their activities: attacks on buildings, hit and run attacks on Iranian police, and I think that also Basij units.
Mm-hmm.
And they also declared from their hideouts across the mountains they welcome Israel and American strikes on strategic targets across Iran, viewing them as a necessary blow to the regime that will bring them closer to their independence. Now, this is connected to much of the minorities.
Okay.
But in my opinion, I think either minority will do much until this moment, because they wait. For President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, they will say together, listen, we've done all we can. We have weakened the Supreme Command, the religious leadership, the Air Force, and the Navy. Now it's your turn. Only boots on the ground can change the regime. In the meantime, I follow some of their accounts on social media. You can see them clearly. They have pro-separatist propaganda, and it's spreading fast among their followers. The drive for independence only grows much stronger.
I see. That's how it's panning out now. I'm looking forward to see what it actually happens in the process that's going to happen later on. Good. Thank you for sharing, Liam. Anything to add on more to that?
No, not in the moment.
Okay, Liam. So thank you for sharing. Wow, so much information. I really didn't know that. And now I know more of it. I know what to expect in the future. Thank you, Liam. So from my another question to you is, from strategic perspective, what is the most effective way to deal with, the Iranian threat, and what outcomes could we expect? What can happen?
I think the best option is that I don't know how much, but we should look up to the separatists who can bring independence.
Mm-hmm.
Not only because their desire for freedom, but also because it can push the regime of Tehran away from strategic interests. Let's say the Baluchis in the east, here are. If the separatists of the Baluchis can take control over there, Iran could lose the Strait of Hormuz, and it's one of its major economic artery. As those routes might no longer be under Iran's control. If the separatists of the region of the Ahwaz will gain independence, a huge portion of Iran's crude oil, around 80%, as I said earlier, would be out of the regime's reach. And if the Kurds achieve independence or some sort of autonomy, it's a very complicated issue. Tehran would lose strategic depth towards Iraq and control over the key mountain regions. But look, I know it sounds hopeful, but it will not bring the regime overnight, but it will slowly choke it. Because without the straits, without the oil, without the mountains, you won't pay salary to the soldiers, to the IRGC, and then not the Basij. And I think when this happens, Iran won't be just weakened. It will begin to break apart, just like the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia did after the fall of the communist world.
Wow, that's unfortunate. I was hoping it'll end soon, but I guess everything takes time. I kind of thought that too. You can't always just hope for what's going. Yeah.
There is a phrase in the Quran which I don't remember exactly in Arabic. It says that Allah is with the patient people. Only those that has some sort of patience and maybe attempt to see further than what will happen tomorrow or in 2 days. Maybe we will see some sort of difference, and we will see difference in the mindset, because Iran and most of the Arab regimes around my country always planned on the long terms, not on
short term,
what we imagine, not on what we imagine.
Yes. Well, they say every good thing's come in time, so we just have to wait.
Absolutely.
And proceed with it. But yes. Thank you. And anything more to add on to that, Liam?
Anything else to add? That I hope that it will come, that it will come in our lifetime, and not if in our time, then in the time of our children. That the separatists, that Iran will be dismantled entirely, and the separatists will gain independence, not just for Iran itself, but also for the rest of the world, because we can't hold a terrorist regime in power by any sort of chance.
I hope so. Yeah, if it takes too long, it can become a crazy thing for the entire world. That we could become a country just full of nukes everywhere. It's not going to be a good thing. So we have to end it as much as we can, and hopefully the powerful countries can hold everything together, and allies can gather, and everything can become more peaceful instead of fighting all the time. So I think the same thing, Liam. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for preparing today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, me too. And I'll see you around. Cheers.
Of course.
Bye, buddy. Cheers.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.